Hey guys, and welcome back to another TCG opening. Today we've got something a little different for you, and that is a brand new TCG that just came out. In fact, as of recording this, I checked YouTube and there are no videos of anybody opening the booster box. I'm sure there's a few people recording it right now and getting ready to upload, but as of right now, I don't even have any reference material to see what the pulls are like in this, what the card quality is going to be like. So this is really exciting because I think I was one of the first person to actually receive this. Based on what I've been seeing in their Discord. There's only a couple other people that said they got their booster boxes, but I'm not sure if they make videos. So anyway, before we get into opening this up, essentially what this is, it's a Kickstarter that I backed in November of last year. It finished funding on December 1st. And what really caught my attention with this is, as I start to open this, let's be really careful, just in case this is like a super coveted TCG one of these days. We'll be very careful with how we open this to kind of preserve the box. So this is a wildlife trading card game. And what I mean by that is the cards, and this is the thing that really intrigued me about LIFETCG. There are first edition holographic cards where the print run is actually based off of the estimated real world population of how many of that animal are left in the wild. So for example, I have the stats kind of pulled up on the side here. There are an estimate, I don't know what some of these animals are, maybe we'll pull one, but these are going to be kind of rare. There are 10 vaquitas estimated to be left in the wild, so they only printed 10 of that card in the entire print run. A Hanian gibbon, there are 30. A Wandi Woi tree kangaroo, there's 50. And a Moor leopard, there's 100. A pygmy three-toed sloth, there's 100. So those numbers are the total print run for the holographic runs of these cards, and there's a South China tiger, there are 8. There are actually none estimated to be in the wild for that, but it's China's lucky number, so they chose 8. And the crazy thing, as you see right here on the cover, there is a 1 of 1 Earth card, where only one was printed because, well, there's only one Earth, as far as we know, right? You never know what's out there in the universe, but as far as we know, there is a single Earth, and one exists. How crazy would it be if it was in my booster box? So yeah, it's going to have a whole bunch of real-life wildlife on these cards. I've been really hyped for this and to share it with you guys. I've kept it under wraps. I didn't tell anybody I picked this up because I thought it would be really fun to kind of dive into this together. We get 36 packs. Now, I bought the gold booster box, which was like 10 more bucks than the normal one. And what that means is it comes with a gold booster pack that will have all hollows inside, 10 hollows inside of that pack. I don't know where that pack is inside of here. I hope it's in here. Actually, let's quickly just like check this. I'm sure it's like, oh, there it is. Perfect. So this pack here, what do you say we get a few packs in, and then we will open this, which is full of hollows, which is why this is the gold booster box. I could see that the cards are potentially a little warped inside of there, but let's hope not. But a pack that has 10 hollows, obviously it's going to have a little bit of bending. There's nothing you can really do about that too much these days in the TCG world. But yeah, let's start opening these up. I don't want to delay too much. Let's keep the box right over here to the side. Now, hopefully these are packs that can be opened with relative ease. Now, these are Kickstarter packs. There is a print run as well that I also have pulled up here, interestingly enough. We're going to talk about it as we open this, so I hope you guys are pretty cozy because there are a lot of packs here, so we can kind of talk about the print run and what I think about the future of LIFETCG. Does it have a chance? Does it not? How is their management of the card game and whatnot? So, alright, so they're a little crunchy. These are some thicker packs. They're not like super... They kind of remind me of a MetaZoo kind of foiling from like UFO, the UFO set. Any of you familiar with MetaZoo's kind of foiling? They're very thick packs, and they're decently high quality. Alright, so let's see what we get. So here's how it's going to work. These are commons. They're commons, uncommons, rares, and then the holo rares. Now, the commons and such have artwork that is, it's cool, but it's not quite as impressive as the holos. The holo cards that you guys will see will feature some really highly detailed work from a very talented artist. Now, there are 2 artists on the project. Ooh, and we get our first holo. Population of 50,000. So this is this is a holo that you're going to see a lot of. So the way that this works, right? So it's a first edition holo. That means it's a first edition rare holo. There are 50,000 estimated in the population in the wild for a spotted hyena. So that means that there are, well, once the print run for this concludes, because the way that their numbers work is the Kickstarter print run, there are 224 gold booster boxes, which is the one I have. There are only 71 of the normal booster box, because let's face it, most people wanted the gold. So from an interesting standpoint, the regular booster boxes are more rare because they didn't print as many of those for Kickstarter, but everybody wants the holo pack. And then there are 188 of like a little starter box, and there's apparently 121 Kickstarter exclusive cards, which I guess are signified by the K logo down here. So the first edition print run of this will eventually have 5,000 gold booster boxes, 20,000 first edition, and 25,000 starter boxes, and 100,000 individual packs, which is a lot. Now, their idea behind this is they will keep printing this until they essentially sell out of this set. Now, this creates an interesting dynamic for, first of all, what do I think of the card stock? It feels fine. The cards are definitely a little thin. They're definitely a little thin. They've got a nice gloss finish to them. They don't feel particularly like super high quality, but they are quite thin cards. Like you can easily mistakenly dent one of these things. So what does this mean for the longevity of life? Now I picked this up just in case this game takes off, right? There were 130 backers at the end of the project. But, you know, you never know. This game could take off. It could be the next MetaZoo, where it starts off really small and then it just clicks with some people and kind of goes crazy. So I'm like, you know what? No harm done. Let's pick up one booster box. We can make a fun video out of it. And, you know, if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. Oh, estimated 1 million in the wild. Rats are everywhere. So, yeah, so this would be a thing, right? Like, so if it's not holo, that means that they don't necessarily print 150,000 of this card. That would be crazy, right? For the Northern Elephant Seal, it only applies to the holo cards. Now, I'm just as confused as you guys. Okay, so this is our first non-holo rare. So here's how it works. There will be a holo version of this card, I think. I think this is how this works. And the card artwork will sort of be upgraded. So if you look at this hyena, which I should totally sleeve up, give me a moment, because I'm not sure how the warping will be on these holos. I've made a mistake lately with not immediately sleeving some of my holos from other card games, and they start getting warped pretty fast. So the way that this works is there should be a holo version of this Hirola, and the artwork will sort of be upgraded in a way. It'll look a little nicer, is at least how I understand it. Now pulling a foil snow leopard would be pretty nice. And okay, so this is a perfect example where you can see the holo version has a bit more of a detailed artwork, which I think looks fantastic. The artist that did these artworks is extremely talented. A lot of people thought that someone was like ripping the artwork and just like stealing the artwork and AI generating it or something. There were like accusations of that, but no, the artist is just very talented. They have videos of them doing time lapse of this artwork for a lot of the animals, and I think that is why Life really stands out for me. Is that when you pull those nice foil cards, the art is just awesome, hand drawn, completely hand drawn from scratch. And it's one of my worries that I have at Life too, because right now they only have apparently one lead artist, and there is another artist that gets credited, but I'm not sure like what they've kind of worked on within the set. But what if that one lead artist does leave or part ways? They'd have to have some backup artists, right, for the future. Hey, the bottlenose dolphin, 600,000. And the cool thing is they have little facts down here. They develop individualized whistles to communicate information. And the way that you play this game, you can play this game. It's not just cards with like information on them. It's very simple, where you essentially like build a deck, and then there's another card game that does this, but I'm not sure. I can't remember the name of it. And you just compare stats. So in other words, let's just say that this dolphin went up against the mouse versus dolphin. You would choose, okay, I want to use the weight of my dolphin. It would defeat the mouse, and then you keep this in your deck, and the mouse would be taken out of the other person's deck. But then let's just say that the next card, the European hare, your opponent wants to use the speed for the hare, which would defeat your Dolphin's speed of 25, so the Dolphin would be taken out of the deck and the European Hare would stay in their deck. And that's essentially how it works. So it's very simple, easily played by kids, and I think kids would really enjoy this game, looking at all the animals and kind of reading some of the fun facts on here as well. So I think this is kind of a perfect card game for a younger audience and older audience as well, because who doesn't appreciate wildlife and the endangered species that are out there? We got a Tasmanian Devil holographic rare, 20,000, so that means this is not a super rare foil, but it is a foil nevertheless. Nice colors on the background of that one. Now, I think the odds are, I am guaranteed 28 hollows, 10 of which come in that foil pack, so every other pack should have a hollow card, which is decent odds. It would have been nice if every pack had a hollow, but that's just not how it goes. There are 100 cards in total, so that means 100 different animals. Some of which obviously way harder to pull than others. I will be ecstatic if I can pull a card that has a card count of, say, under 100, like 100 or under. There are, how many of those cards are in existence? Let me see here. Including Earth, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cards of 100 are under, and then there's like 17, I think, of 1,000 and under. So here's the issue that I see with this card game. First of all, the elephant in the room, pun intended maybe, there are a finite number of wildlife animals out there, especially when it comes to endangered species. How do they keep this going, right? Like, here's our rare. How do they keep this going? How do they keep creating new sets? Maybe they don't. Maybe they just have plans for doing just this one set. Maybe they do subsets like aquatic life, or heck, even insects would be pretty interesting. What if life, the nice thing about the name of LIFETCG is that it's all life itself. It doesn't just have to be animals, it can encompass everything. So they could take this in many interesting directions, and learning about different sea life, or, you know, beyond just dolphins and whales and stuff. All the different crazy insects out there could be interesting. Maybe they just do a set on birds, or they could even do it with different cat species, dog species. They can take this in so many different ways. But if they don't take that route, where does it go? Maybe they do different print runs with different like flavor text and artwork, but then at that point it's just sort of like a flashy second edition. All right, we got an African wild dog hollow. Let's take a look at the quality of the hollows. I don't see any print lines on this or anything. Does appear to be some light scratching though on the hollow, as you can see, which is a little disappointing for a pack fresh card. Centering on these seems to be okay. This is a little thick on the right. Yeah, there's actually some like light. You can see this here on the hollow, scratching here, damage here, scratching here, scratches there. I mean, that's actually littered with scratches. So that's a little disappointing from the collector's aspect. If you're just buying this to play, I mean, it is what it is. But imagine if I pulled the Earth card, it was just loaded with scratches and damage. So, yeah, that's a little concerning. So this is not, say this is like a medium, sort of like an uncommon hollow, I guess, because it's got a card population of 6,500. So why did I buy this? Well, like I said, I bought it to share with you guys, to give you guys a heads up out there, because, you know, my channel does cover a lot of different TCGs, all kinds of indie TCGs, older dead TCGs that no longer exist. And I figured, hey, this looks interesting enough, let's give it a shot. So yeah, shameless plug for my channel if you are into trading card games, especially more obscure ones, old ones. But I only open things that interest me. So I'm not just going to like open anything and everything. I will at least open things that I find interesting. So be sure to check out my channel if you're stumbling here for the first time. You might find something from your childhood that you remember. I am mostly a collector as of right now, though. So I'm not like giving tutorials on how to play any of these games or anything. Ooh, hollow humpback whale with a nice big print line right down the middle of some sort. It's either a giant scratch or a print line. Can't really tell. 84,000. It's a nice looking card, however. We'll set that off to the side. We'll sleeve a few up at a time. Oops. Actually, you know what? No, we'll sleeve these one at a time. Just so that way at the end of the video, I can kind of recap with you all the foils that we get. But the more I feel these and the more I hold these cards, the more I am disappointed in the card stock. I hate to say it, but it feels like shortcuts were taken. Now, I am not a creator of TCGs. I'm not a financer on like, okay, we got to use this card stock because we only made this much money. But I will say that I am, the more I open these, the more I hold these, especially because I've been opening a lot of TCGs on my channel lately, so I have a good idea of what cards feel like in my hand, and I will say that this is probably the poorest card stock that I have felt so far. Now, that's not a knock on the creators. You know, they may have had to do what they had to do to make all of this possible, but man, like, I can't help but just, you just pick these cards up and they just like automatically start bending in your hand. They're extremely thin cards. We got a wild yak with 15,000. The nice artwork. I do like the very simple foiling on these cards. Is that more damage? Man, these foils are rough, boy. So we've got like some kind of speckling here. We've got scratches here. So this is just a warning for collectors. If you're buying this, hoping to get these cards graded and stuff, it might be kind of a challenge if you're looking for high grades, because these foils seem to be very prone to that. Now, for me, it doesn't really matter. I honestly planned on taking these and throwing them in a binder and kind of appreciating whatever animals I pull, go through the full set, kind of have fun looking at the stats. They're very practical in that sense, where if you're looking to see, like, you know, just a little fun stat about an animal, the estimated population in the wild, how long they live, how fast they can run. I mean, that's kind of cool to look at these in a binder. But if you're looking at these from a collectability standpoint, leaves a little bit to be desired. So the other thing I want to talk about that's a little concerning is the lack of communication from the creators. Did I miss the rare here? Hold on. Uncommon, uncommon. Oh, there's the rare. Not to say that it's, you know, bad by any means, but there's only a few people that were working on this project. There's only, you know, 2 creators and like one artist, one main artist. And they were pretty active in the Discord at first, posting like a card reveal here or there. They did like 5 card reveals during and shortly after the Kickstarter had concluded. And they would do updates here and there, sort of like, okay, we're entering production. You know, this is when you can expect your cards. And that's about it. They weren't doing any hyping in the Discord. You would think they would be showing more images of cards we hadn't seen yet, because, you know, there's 100 cards in here. They could have showed a few more. We got a Canadian Lynx with 50,000. Let's see if there's any scratching on here. There is scratching on here too. So it seems like it's going to be a very common theme to get scratched hollows, almost every one. Which, like I said, for me, it's okay. I'm just putting these in a binder. I'm not grading these cards. I'm not investing in these cards. I bought them to appreciate the art and just have fun looking at them and sharing with you guys. But just a warning. Just a warning. But these cards kind of just showed up at my door today, and there was no word like, hey, they started shipping, you know, they're going out, cards are coming, or anything. Like, there's been almost nothing in the Discord from the creators of this. And you would think if you were releasing a TCG that you were passionate about, wouldn't you, I don't know, just a weekly update with a little card image or a card spoiler, or like once a month or once every 2 or 3 weeks, like a little time-lapse video of some of the art. I don't know. It just felt a little off compared to other TCGs that I've backed on Kickstarter, in terms of being updated on what to expect. Here's our rare. We got a Swala and a polar bear, an Okapi, African lion. Not knocking the creators. I mean, they seem like great people, but it just worries me for the future of LIFETCG, because maybe the card game did not meet what their expectations were in terms of sales, and they've already kind of written it off. They're like, all right, let's get these Kickstarter cards out to the backers and then see what happens from there. Because if it wasn't, they raised a decent amount. They raised, like, I don't know what the US equivalent was, but let's just say like something like 55, 60,000 at least, or something like that. Like even more. I don't remember what the conversion is, which was quite a bit. They had a couple of really big backers on there as well. Whales, if you will. Ooh, we got a foil Polar Bear 30,000 with a very nice, looks, I'm going to assume this is a print line, with a very nice print line right down his back. So let's leave that up. Luckily, this booster box was not super expensive. It was like $100, $90, something like that. So I figured it was worth a gamble, worth a share with you guys. Let's just check the back of the cards, see how the card art or the card quality is on these. Luckily, it doesn't seem like there's much whitening. Now, they did apparently go with a company that like prints or ships, or I don't know how they handle it. What is this called? Check out my box here. Indie Pro, which I went to the website and they are selling these cards on there. So I guess like leftovers. They had a few people that canceled, I guess, and they have a few leftovers on there. But they are charging like almost double of what you would have paid on Kickstarter for them. So it seems like a site that handles like the manufacturing potentially. I don't know if they had them printed, or I think what it is, they had them printed wherever they had them printed, and then they send them to that site, and then that site distributes them for them, I think is what happened. But their plans for this game is they said they were going to make the first edition, which comes after the Kickstarter, you know, cards without the Kickstarter logo. They will make them available on their website for the astronomical print runs that they had projected. Because they have this idea, ooh, I like the bat. Ooh, that would be really cool to get. Now, it has a population of estimate of 100 for the Seychelles sheath-tailed bat. But the thing is, there's way more than 100 of this card because this is not a holo, but that would be a really cool holo to get. So they will essentially make unlimited booster boxes. At least that's how it feels to me. Because let me just look at this print run here again. Yeah, so after Kickstarter. Kickstarter is actually very limited. Like I mentioned, only 224 gold booster boxes, which is what I have. There were only 110 backers that went through with the project. And how do I know this? Because, well, I'll just show you the promo card real quick. That came with every backer's kit. We actually got a human card, and the Kickstarter population is 110. So that means 110 people successfully kicked back the Kickstarter. Really interesting fact here, by the way. The length of humans' blood vessels could wrap around the Earth 4 times. The more you know. I wonder what this is based on. I feel like it's based on a self-portrait, maybe one of the artists or family member of the artist. Just really interesting artwork. Pretty nice. But yeah, I mean, just think about this for a second. So let's just say in total 300 Kickstarter booster boxes, right? We'll just say that in total. But then first edition booster boxes, 20,000 and 5,000 for the gold in the aftermath, like the selling on their website. That's pretty high. I mean, if they only sold 300 on Kickstarter, how they expect to sell 25,000 more on their website afterwards? That's what I mean. This game will need some help. It'll definitely need some kind of recognition, either through YouTube videos, some big brand influencer picking it up and spreading the word, you know, whatever they're going to do. We got an orca. Luckily, no print lines are damaged to the orca, it seems, but it is a common foil. It's also really hard to explain the rarities in this, right? Because it's like, well, it's a first edition holo, but it also has a high print run because there's technically, over time, there will be 50,000 of these printed. But here's the crazy and confusing part. How many of these are printed now? Of the 50,000 of that would be printed, how many of them are in the Kickstarter boxes? I mean, I'm a little confused on that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are confused on that as well. Because obviously, they didn't print 50,000 orcas for Kickstarter. So let's just say that first edition never goes through its full print run of 25,000 booster boxes. How will we ever find out what the print run is on these? Let's just say that LIFETCG dies prematurely. Not that we want it to. It'd be great to see it live on. Give it a proper life. But what if it does die prematurely and you have collectors out there that do kind of want to collect these cards? What happens? How do we ever find out the print runs on these? We just have to assume, like, okay, there's probably more of this one than that one just because of the population, but we'll never really know unless you pull one of the really low populations. And one of the other questions I have, you know, maybe these questions were answered, and here's our first double. It's going to happen when you get, you know, 84,000 population with the humpback whale. What happens with the cards that have like under 100 population or even 10? Did they only print like one? So for a card that has a population of 10, did they only print one for Kickstarter and they're saving the other 9 for the technically 25,000 other booster boxes, or did they print 2? Did they do the full 10 and they're going to do another printing of non-Kickstarter versions of those in the future booster boxes? I have no idea. So if the creator watches this video, which they may, I mean, if I made a TCG, I'd be interested to see what people's first takes were of my product. It would be awesome to, like, either in a comment on this video, or if you want to, like, post it in your Discord, like any of these questions that I'm asking, I'm sure if I'm asking them, there's probably a lot of people that are a little confused on it too. You know, share it in the Discord. Let us know, like, what's up with the print runs. What can we expect? Maybe it was answered. Maybe I can be directed to it. I don't know. Because this game's gone through some changes in terms of how they handle the rarities too. Originally, it was going to be first edition cards would be in the same booster box with second edition cards. So they'd be like first edition holo rares. And then there would be first edition rares, non-holo, first edition commons, first edition uncommons, and then to be like second, or not first edition commons, uncommons, but then the commons and uncommons would be like second edition. It was incredibly confusing. That's a cute little porcupine. I like the colors. I like how each card has like different color schemes on it, kind of mimicking the card art. So for example, they got some nice like lilacs or whatever you got in the background here, so they kind of use a purple on the card. It's a nice sense of design. I will admit, though, the more that I see the holo cards and how amazing that artwork looks, I do kind of wish that all the cards featured that artwork. It's not knocking the normal art, but here's another example, right? I know it's meant to make the foils feel more special, but I feel like there's some fidelity and detail and just nice, something that makes the card pop that is lost in the normal cards. The Orca looks great in the holo, but then the normal version is just kind of flat. There's a lot of rendering that's sort of lost in these non-holo versions of the cards that I know what they were going for. They were going for the holos feeling more special, and it may have also been a budget thing, right? Like creating all these different artworks is probably very costly, time-consuming. So I understand why they probably went for cards that are not quite as crazy to find, but it does make me feel like all the cards should have featured the really nice rendering and just add a foil background to the artwork. I think people would have kind of been fine with that. Not that it feels cheap or anything. I mean, I think they look fine, but I highly prefer the detailed versions of these cards, right? Like this is a great example of how flat the background is, how flat the artwork is not knocking the artist. I think she does a wonderful job with the artwork, but I feel like the decision to make the detailed versions limited to the holos hurts the game a little bit. And we are starting to see, because this card game is, as you can see, limited to 100 cards, we are starting to see a lot of repeats at this point. So this is the kind of game where you will probably be trading with other people, or, you know, as your cards get damaged or something, you easily swap them out. Maybe you make a binder with cards that you never touch, keep a play deck or 2 play decks. I guess buying a booster box, the good thing about getting a lot of repeats is you can easily make a deck for 2 or more people, because you're getting so many doubles and repeats. All right, how about after this pack we open up the gold pack that we've kind of had sitting over there. Now that we understand the rarities a bit more and we've talked about the game, I think now would be a good time to delve into that gold pack and see if we can potentially pull a really low population, or the Earth itself. Gray-faced Sengi in a wild jack. Our holo is an alpine ibex. Is this the one that... Oh, they are very good at climbing trees. Okay, this is not the one that like climbs in mountains. Man, have you ever seen those ones? There's some crazy videos on YouTube. It's like a little goat or something that climbs a freaking mountain. I mean, man, they are crazy. Anyway, what do you say we crack this pack open? Definitely the highlight of the box. 10 foils in here. Get a nice gold foiling package. Let's try and preserve the pack if I can. Might be a little tough because these packs are kind of beefy. They're a little... If you're opening them without a scissor, it's almost like a zipper. Okay. We're hoping for at least one card in here to be, say, 300 pop or 100 pop and below. Let's hope that we don't have a lot of damage and print lines and all that stuff. All right, first up is a giant otter with an estimated population of 5,000, complete with tons of scratching on the foil. you can see here. We got a giant anteater with a population of 5,000. We got the Bengal tiger. I got excited when I first saw that, but population is still 3,500 estimated in the wild. Complete with some fine scratching on the foil. It is a very nice card, though. 7,000 population for the cheetah. Nice decal on that card. How about we reveal one with just the population before we fully reveal? 13,000 for the manatee. 15,000 for the jaguar. Awesome. I am a Atari Jaguar fan, so getting the jaguar is pretty cool. 25,000 for the guar. Gaur? Gar. Never heard of that before. 30,000 for the Wolverine. He got his own little Wolverine scratches on the card. 50,000 for the Canadian Lynx. So we got a repeat. 50,000 for the Orca. And that is our last holo in this pack. This Orca, as you can see, kind of bent. It just goes to show what happens when you use really cheap quality cardstock. Yeah, I mean, this should tell you everything you need to know. Pretty. Imagine if this was the Earth card, right? Like, oh man, whoever gets that Earth card, I hope it's not like this, and I hope it doesn't come in one of these foil packs. So yeah, completely bent up and scratched, fresh out of the pack. So hopefully they learn something from this print run going forward, and they make first editions maybe with a different card manufacturer, whoever they used. They may need to look elsewhere, or at least upgrade the cardstock quality or the foil. Like, who the heck knows? But yeah, they will definitely need to change something going forward if they want this to have a healthy secondary market. Collectors will not be super pleased, I'll tell you that. I feel bad for some of the people that bought. There were some like tiers on Kickstarter that would come with 30 booster boxes. Hopefully they bought them, like, not all for themselves if they were collectors or investors, because I don't know, I feel like the secondary market on this might be a little hurt. Oh, we got a giant panda. But like I said, there are not just 2,000 of these, but it is a rare. Because, yeah, collectors aren't going to want to collect these if every holo you're pulling is damage. Looks like we're about halfway through the booster box. We still got a decent chance of pulling something low population, though. Let's not give up hope. At least the pack quality is decent. Wild boar. European badger. Meerkat. Koala. Sea otter. Vicuna. Our rare is another holo Wolverine. Put him off to the side. Okapi. The Wildjack. Canadian Lynx. I think there's still some cards we haven't seen yet, considering the rares and the uncommons, but the commons, we have definitely seen all of them so far. Let me know what you think about Life. Did you pick up any? Do you, maybe this video makes you want to check out Life, pick up some? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, this is perfect for players. If you're looking to play this with your kids, it's perfect. Right? Like, cardstock at that point won't matter to you. It's just the fun images of the animals. South China Tiger. Man, if that was the holo, that would have been huge. So this is the card that I mentioned earlier, where it's actually not known, or it's believed that there are none in the wild for the South China Tiger, but they wanted to do a limited print on it anyway in holo form, so they used 8 as the lucky number for China. So imagine getting this in a foil. That would have made the whole box worth it. Last seen in the wild over 30 years ago. That's definitely a chase card. But I think this would be great for playing with your kids. Simple, easy to understand. Heck, even like a family member that likes animals and maybe has never played a trading card game in their life, you just bring this over is like a fun thing to do. When you visit, or they come over to visit you, whatever, you know, it could be a fun little thing that you play with some people at the kitchen table or something. But I will say that I feel I'm glad that I didn't buy more than one booster box. I figured taking the shot on one would be fine. And then we go from there. I either regret not buying more or I'm happy with the one I got. I'm definitely not disappointed, like to the point where I'm like, I wish I would have never bought this. Got another spotted hyena. Getting so many duplicate foils, though, is a little off-putting. I mean, I think that's what, my third spotted hyena? I'm not disappointed I bought it, because I love sharing these openings with you guys, and it's always exciting to check out a new TCG, especially if, you know, I could be one of the first ones to kind of get it out there for people to check out. It's kind of exciting in that regard, so we can kind of feel out the rarities and the pull rates and whatnot together. And how cool would it be if I opened up the world? I won't lie, the fact that there was a 1-of-1 chase card in here, another Canadian Lynx. The fact that there is a 1-of-1 chase card in here was kind of tempting. It definitely swayed my decision to buy this by a little bit. I do feel like the weighting of these duplicate hollows, though, is a little strong for my tastes. I don't think I would really buy a second booster box in that regard. I'd probably have to go the way of buying singles if anybody ever lists these on eBay, if I were interested in tracking them down. I don't think I'd really be buying stuff under 100 population, though, because those cards would probably be a little pricey if a secondary market for this develops. Especially because, like I said, we don't even know if the 10 were printed. Another humpback whale. Oh boy, this is with scratches up and down the card. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what the print runs are like? We'll do a recap at the end of this, by the way, so we can kind of get a sense for how many. I'm not even sleeving them anymore because, let's face it, they all have scratches already on the foil, so the damage is kind of already done. I'll still be sharing this in the LIFETCG Discord. I'm still going to be active in there. I'll be definitely going in there and checking out people's polls. I'm still excited to check that stuff out for sure. Because at the end of the day, it's about the fun of opening these, and I am definitely having fun. There's something. Oh my god, they almost had me on that again. Imagine the foil in the South China Tiger. There's definitely a fun factor in knowing how limited some of these cards are compared to others with the population, I think. And knowing, like, when you pull a card, these are essentially sort of like, you know, serialized cards. So like a MetaZoo card, right, where you get it numbered out of 25. It's pulling it and immediately seeing the population and knowing that it's kind of serialized just without the actual, like, you know, number next to the population. You know what I mean? Another hollow polar bear. Okay, so here's how I feel. I feel like what they should have done is you make a more common style foil for every card in the set. All 100 cards, I feel, because right now that's not how it works. There are certain cards that do not come in a hollow, period, and certain ones do. I feel like every card should have had a hollow equivalent with, say, this hollow foil pattern where it's just a basic foil, right? Or you do a foil with a basic card art and then a bit more of an upgraded foil, maybe with, like, I don't know, some kind of custom pattern in the background for LIFETCG or just whatever. Just a different kind of, like, better looking foil with the upgraded artwork. So that way you have foils for every card. It makes chasing foils a little nicer so that you're not getting so many doubles. And then you have sort of like the more rare premium foils with the upgraded art and the better foil background. I think that would have been the best way of approaching this, because now it's like, okay, we're already getting tons of doubles of these commons and uncommons. But then you also have to contend with the fact that you're now getting tons of common or doubles of the foils because of the way the print runs work. The Northern Hairy-Nosed Wombat, cute little guy. That would be a fantastic foil. I really hope, I feel like with the way that this was printed, I really hope that, like, every booster box has a decent chance of pulling something at least under 1,000 population. If I don't get a single foil 1,000 population and under, I will be a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie about that. All right. So we are nearing the bottom of the box. We got a handful of packs left, so let's see if we can work some magic. Our rare is the Sawala. That is 100 population, so that in the foil is what we're looking for. I love the crunchy sounds of these packs, though. It's one of my favorite kind of packs to open. African elephant. We haven't seen many elephants, actually. I love this one. The Baikal seal. Ooh, koala. 60,000, though. Tons of koalas out there. Okay, it looks like we are down to maybe 6 packs, including this one. I do apologize, I open the packs sort of like off screen sometimes because it's just a little faster and easier for me. If I have to do it in front of my camera, it just slows me down. A little more awkward. Bengal tiger, non-foil. But yeah, I think the last update from the creators were like, here's a picture or whatever of it in production, like the kind of the packaging done, and then nothing after that. Nothing in turn. Like it's been a while, and there's really been no push by them to even advertise the card game in any way, because I guess there really isn't a purpose, because the Kickstarter's kind of concluded, people have their product shipped. But I looked in the join list, like on the Discord, and nobody has joined the Discord since December. I mean, unless I'm seeing things wrong, but it's been very quiet. There hasn't been any like new people coming in. Mountain gorillas. I'd be happy with that with a foil. That's 1,000. So yeah, it's been kind of quiet on that front. And the Discord community has a lot of nice not active, but you know, they get engagement. If they post an image of a spoiler or something like that, people engage. It's not like it's empty. It's not a ghost town. So it would be nice to just have. I mean, maybe there'll be more activity in there now that people are getting their cards, and creators will kind of get in there and talk a little bit more, maybe about the future plans, or LIFETCG maybe pushing first edition, how they're gonna they should, I don't know, how they're gonna get that into the hands of people and push sales. Oh look, another Canadian Lynx. But that's how this game works. I think that is why there are starter boxes, which come with 10 packs. There were apparently 188 of those sold during Kickstarter. So I think if you're looking to get into this, it's better to buy a starter box. So you get 10 packs. That way you're not getting a ton of doubles if you're looking at it from a collector's perspective. Looking at it from a player's perspective, yes, a booster box would be really fun to open and play. But if you're looking to just sample it and like just look at some of the cards and see how you feel about it, get a starter box. Ooh, Black Panther. Nice. It is 1,000 population, not a super low pop like one of the 300 or 100 or below, but at least we got something. Now 1,000 is still pretty high. Let's not, you know, let's not beat around things here. I mean, 1,000 is still pretty high, but who knows how many they had printed for Kickstarter? I don't think they had 1,000 printed. Maybe they did. Maybe who the heck knows? But at least we got something, and of course it comes complete with some nice edge nicking and. Do we have scratches on the hollow? At least it looks like it's most... no, we got some nice fine scratches right down in there. But, hey, let's leave that up. We got something. Like I said, I hope I get at least 1,000 card pop or under. Alright, we are down to the final 2 packs. And they are both lions. Let's hope we can get one more low pop foil, because everything I've received is like super high population and multiples of each one. So yeah, I guess they want to really hammer it in that these are high population animals. Look, you even own 5 of them. Alright, let's see, is it a foil? It is not. It is a Darwin's Fox 1,000. Man, that would be a cute card to have in foil. Alright, final pack. Last pack magic. Imagine the last pack has the Earth card. My goodness. But here's the thing, too. I wonder if Earth is in the Kickstarter boxes, or if it's going to be potentially in first edition. Who knows? Who knows at this point? It's all a little confusing. Hopefully the last pack is a foil. I don't know which one is foil coming up. I think it might be the one after this. Let's see. Oh, hopefully it's not this one. Okay, no, not that one. And it is a non-foil rare Hirola. Okay, well, that's LIFETCG. Overall impressions, I like the concept. I do. I like the concept of cards being limited to the real world estimated wildlife population. That's originally what drew me into this, other than, you know, the cute animals. Ooh, oh, oh. The cards are so slippery, they're falling all over the place. Cardstock, please. Okay. That would have made a big mess. So our biggest pull here is a 1,000 population Black Panther. And as we go through here, you will notice there are a lot of repeats. Let's see, Canadian lynx, we got 2. Spotted hyena, I know we got a ton of those. Orca, we got a couple of those. Whale, we got more than one of those. So there's another lynx. We got a couple of African wild dogs. Another spotted hyena. I mean, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. Maybe it was just these Canadian lynxes that just kept popping up. But there's quite a few cards in here where I definitely got like at least 2. Pretty much every foil in here I got at least 2. And then we also had so those were the pulls from the booster box. And then these here were from my gold foil pack, of which I was really disappointed not to get something of decent rarity in there. I mean, geez. Oh yeah, we got another Canadian lynx, another Wolverine, Guar. The Jaguar is kind of cool to pull. I do like that card. Manatee. Cheetah's nice. But all these cards are like got severe bending and damage, so 35. The Bengal Tiger is a nice foil. Giant Anteater. And the Giant Otter, but like I said, like I knew I could see it in the pack itself before I even opened it, but just to hammer it home one more time. This is why you don't choose really low quality cardstock. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Is it something you're going to be interested in? A hard pass? Did you pick up any? Did you get any good pulls? Let me know. Share your pulls down below. Let me know what you think about it. Thanks very much for watching. I'm not sure if I'll be opening any more LIFETCG in the future unless it goes on like fire sale somewhere and we can get it a lot cheaper. Or if a collector community kind of develops and people actually start collecting and trading these cards on a massive scale, then I might get interested in it to kind of like seek out some more foils. Otherwise, I think that's going to be it for me and LIFETCG for now. I hope the creators listen to the video and take some of the criticisms to heart. Don't let it dissuade you from continuing. I think it's just a way to go on and improve. Improve the cards for the first edition and kind of like take feedback from the Kickstarter and go from there. I think you have a great product on your hands. You have some great, very nice artwork. But I think the number one thing that needs to be done is just make, man, I don't know. Make more cards hollow in the future so that we don't pull so many duplicates. But I guess, you know, I guess the chase of a hollow duplicate is getting one that isn't damaged or scratched in some way. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.